about graphic design. So we are all graphic designers ourselves, and I think we've all sort of come into the industry in completely different ways. So I thought it'd be cool for us to have a conversation together. So do you want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah. Shall I go first?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Esme. I'm a graphic designer at Superfly Marketing. Shall I go into my journey or afterwards?
I'll ask that after.
I'm Fallon and I'm a graphic designer from Pink Banana Marketing.
Nice. And I'm Rachel, creative lead here at Superfly. So like I say, we all, from what I gather, have come into the industry in a completely different way and maybe not a typical way of becoming a graphic designer. So like for me personally, I started out as an apprentice in a different, not as a graphic designer, basically working in packaging. And though it wasn't a creative role, I essentially moved into being able to be a graphic designer because that job for 5 years basically taught me all of the software and everything relevant to graphic design. And then it was sort of just like my own ambition and creativity that sort of comes naturally to me, and practice is to how I've sort of got my position today, being a junior designer, getting a job as a junior designer and then moving up to creative lead here. So yeah, kind of not the traditional way of getting into this type of job. But yeah, what about you guys?
Me? So I actually, taking it back to uni, did textiles at university, where I guess I learned all about the softwares that we use now as designers. But after university, my path kind of took me more along the social media marketing route. So I've had a couple of positions working in the jewellery industry, actually. So quite creative roles, social media marketing. But as things developed, I found that I was lacking something, and I knew that my passion was design. I'm quite a creative, illustrative person. Mm-hmm. So yeah, got approached by Rachel to apply for a role here.
you was headhunted.
I was headhunted.
That's funny.
And applied, and luckily got the job and never looked back. So yeah.
And here you are a year on.
Yeah.
Headhunted
flying.
Because I knew you was a creative person from my brother. But yeah. And what about you, Fallon?
So I am completely self-taught graphic design. From being really young, I was, like you said, very creative. I just loved to draw, I loved to paint, but I was never really good at it. Like I was better than the average person, but I just knew I loved to do it. I just knew I loved to be creative. And then throughout school, I did art. Again, never really had like a niche, like a good thing that I was good at in art, but I just knew that I loved to be creative. And I always used to get real stressed because I was like, I love to do it. Why am I not like fantastic at this? And then it wasn't until lockdown when I started learning Illustrator, and then I quickly realised, I think this is what I actually might be good at. And then I just kept doing it. I still love to like draw and stuff now, and I'd like to incorporate that in my designs as well. But graphic design was something that I just kind of like fell into, and like when I started like teaching myself and stuff, I quickly realised, I think this is actually my creative outlet. Like I waited so long to be able to find what it was, and I think it just turned out to be that.
That is so interesting.
Really
It does just show though, doesn't it, how you sort of have to, it's quite trial and error, especially when you are just kind of all around a creative person. But yeah, that's so interesting. And self-taught as well.
Yeah.
I think I can sort of relate to that as well, because in order to get the job as a designer and make it my career, it was like a lot of trial and error and like, sort of building upon my own portfolio in my own time. A lot of trial and error. But yeah, that's so interesting. Thanks guys for sharing that. Okay, so we'll go on to our topics. So first question is, why do you need a strong brand and why is it more important than ever? So I personally think it's like, having a brand that's inconsistent never works. And I think sometimes companies don't realise that maybe when everything sort of looks a bit mishmash and put together and a bit not thought about, that's when it essentially like ruins your brand and therefore ruins your business, because it doesn't work together. It's it just isn't cohesive. It doesn't work properly, and people don't recognise it. And then as a brand and as a business, it's not strong enough for them to recognise it either. I don't think. I know that sounds really like weird, but I think to understand that your business can thrive from a strong brand is really important. And I think a lot of people in business sometimes don't realise that. What about you guys? What do you think?
So I think that your brand, like you said, it is your identity. And I think a lot of people don't realise how much weight that holds with a business. And I often think when you don't have a strong, cohesive brand, when everything looks a little bit mismatched, I think that says a lot for the business from an outsider looking in. It makes me think, do you know what your business is? Do you know what your identity is? And if you aren't sure on your brand and your identity, how can I know you're even sure of your business? Do you know what I mean? And your product, your messaging, it all is conveyed with your brand. But like you say, I don't think people quite realise the weight that it holds, especially when building trust with like your customer.
100%. I don't think they put two and two together. That it does create trust.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, I think when you see a business as a consumer, the first thing you're looking at is how it looks. That is the moment when someone decides whether they're going to go into a shop or click on the website or continue scrolling on their Instagram page. If you see something that feels strong and cohesive, then, you know, you're succeeding and people will buy into your business and you know, however that looks. Yeah. So yeah, what about you, Esme?
Yeah. I guess
similar thoughts.
Similar thoughts, and again, following on from like being a visual, creative person. Like even if I happen to go on someone's Instagram page and I love the look of it, I'm instantly hitting follow.
Yeah.
I'm already invested in what your brand is, even if it's not something that I personally need or want.
Yeah.
Because of the look of it, and I can understand through the visuals. You've instantly got me hooked.
That's
so it's
always
so
the
important.
case. That's always the case, though, isn't it? Where you sort of come across something or discover an Instagram page, for instance, and then you think, oh, I actually really need that product. And you don't. Realistically, you don't. But you're sort of sucked in by the look of something, the packaging. Exactly. You go into a shop, you go in for one specific thing. You come out with multiple things because you are drawn to the brand, the packaging, everything that's thought about. And that's why it is so important because it's that decision making that people make in the split moment of I'm going to go for that one instead of that one. And it's so competitive out there at the moment where, you know, it is the most important thing in a way for your company to have a strong brand.
Yeah.
And I think that also like it goes with like the price point you can price yourself at, because like for example, you're in Superdrug, you're looking for some new shampoo, you've got this massive thing of just all the shampoos. I know that there's like, I don't know what the brand is like off the top of my head, but it's so colourful and you've probably seen it, and it's such like a viral brand, and it's probably about £6 for a shampoo, £6 for a conditioner. I would probably buy that one just because it looks so good.
It looks good.
Yeah, me and Becky was in Tesco's before, and there was these eggs, and there was £4.50. An egg is an egg. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did they have gold packaging?
Yeah, they had gold packaging.
Yes, I've seen them.
And they're never on club card prices or anything. But I'm just like, I would buy them eggs because it's got a gorgeous packaging, and like compared to Tesco's own eggs, like £1.60, it really creates an experience, doesn't it? And
it does.
Yeah.
You almost don't want to throw that box away.
Exactly.
We'd get all like crafty with it or something. I completely agree though. It's like you say, in Superdrug there is a wall of stuff, and I'm always drawn to, I think as well, like brands often pick similar colours and stuff like that depending on what product they're making. And I went in the other day and I saw same thing, shampoo, and there was this green brand, and it really stuck out compared to everything else on the shelves. And I just thought, they've tried something different, and I feel like it's working because they want a lot of it on the shelves, and people were clearly drawn to the fact that it was a completely contrasting colour to the rest of the shelves.
Yeah.
But yeah, successful story. Okay, so next question. Why could following trends be detrimental to a brand or to your branding?
I mean, I guess trends come and go. If you
Exactly.
really invest yourself in something quite particular, and if you, let's say you've filmed quite a lot of content around it or done a lot of branding around it, and then it quickly fizzles, like it's not a trend that catches on.
Yeah.
You've wasted a lot of time.
And it'd look so dated, wouldn't it? Because I think I automatically think about sort of prints and stuff like that, like cow print,
Yeah.
you know, tiger print maybe even. And I think like if you incorporate something, maybe as well gingham, like there was a lot of brands at one point where it was like gingham was everywhere. It was very summery. It was around for quite a while. And I noticed that some brands incorporated that into their like packaging and stuff like that. And you now look at it a couple of years later and you think, it doesn't hit the same because it's not trending anymore. And
I also think just like trends are also kind of becoming a bit watered down recently. So like obviously when you're talking about print, like, and I was thinking about, do you remember like the old PLT packaging? It was quite horrible, like with like unicorns all over it. Yeah. But that was PLT. Whereas now they've just followed this old money, and that's just an aesthetic, I think. And I think that's going to come and that's going to go. And they've probably invested so much money in that brand. Do you know what I mean? Like they have like changed the product to go alongside it. But I do think like this whole stripped down vibe is definitely a trend. Like I think they've kind of like just been watered down a little bit.
Yeah. Well, the trends are so fast paced.
Yeah.
You know, they're there one minute, they're gone the next. They're not relevant anymore. That applies to a lot of things like colour as well. You know, with speaking of PLT, they're using that trending colour of the time.
Yeah. A
couple of years, maybe people were like that burgundy colour anymore. I mean, I personally love it regardless, but it's sort of like investing your brand into something that is of the time can be really costly for your brand, and people will move on and they will think, oh, that's not really like, you know, it's not really moving with it. So I think it can really cost your brand, especially if you go hard on a particular trend.
Like I was going to say, I think it's easy to move with the times and keep everything trendy without it being detrimental to your brand. Keep your brand like true to yourself, keep it authentic as to who you are, and then you can have a little sprinkle of it, because obviously that is good for like marketing and stuff like that, is to be on trend and in with the times. But like you say, the whole burgundy situation with PLT, is that really going to be in 5 years' time? The unicorns might have been ridiculous, but it was PLT. And you knew it.
Yeah, no, that's true. I guess we'll have to see how that moves forward. But I think, like you say, you can incorporate trends within other areas of the business, like marketing, like social content and stuff like that. But I think that's where people get a little bit mixed up and a bit confused with that, where it's like, you know, keep that separate and keep a brand timeless and, like you say, true to yourself, opposed to following along with what is of the time.
I don't suppose, have you seen like the P. Louise? I'm sure everybody's seen P. Louise. It's crazy, isn't it? And like the packaging and stuff like that is just, but it's got its specific target audience. And I think, I don't know if I'm right or not, but I'm pretty sure she's going through a rebrand to like kind of strip it all back. And I think that is going to be, because like I say, with trends like and everything becoming more minimal, I just feel like she's losing her identity of what P. Louise is. Like she maybe wants to like go for like a more higher market like look, but her target audience realistically is children. And it's like, are you going to actually be able to reach your target audience just by moving with the trends, or do you just stick true to who you are?
It's a hard decision, isn't it? I guess from like a business strategy point of view, especially when you've been around for a while. I'm not really familiar with P. Louise personally, but I know that been around a long time.
A long time. And she's known for like very colourful, like out there, garish makeup. She's got this whole thing in Manchester which is built for children, and it's like you go there and you have this P. Louise experience. And I'd probably say from like 11 to like 15 is probably a target age range. She charges money for them to come into like this empire, what she calls it. And but I think she's completely changing the whole brand, and I think that's going to be such a bad move for her.
It's risky. Sometimes it's relevant, sometimes
I guess it's kind of a decision. Do you stand out for being your classic self against like all of this minimal stuff?
It's a hard decision. too complicated for me. It's too businessy. Okay, great. Next question. Different subject. How do you feel about the use of AI in design, in graphic design to be specific? It's it can be a big topic of conversation. Obviously, like a lot of designers, there was a point where it was like panic, AI is going to take your job, and you know there was a lot of that over LinkedIn and even like in Instagram and Facebook and stuff. And I remember sort of sat there thinking, if this actually does get brilliant, am I actually going to have a job in like 5-10 years? And I think now I'm a bit more confident that I will. Graphic design will still be a human career. But it's how we use it. What are your guys' thoughts on it?
Do you want to go?
Yeah, I mean, my thought, I feel like I've, like you were saying, I've come to terms with it's here. It's part of our
here to
world.
stay.
She's here to stay. But there's things it can't do, like as someone who likes to draw like yourself, it can't recreate that texture, you know, that feeling of like someone's actually made something, like and taken their time to think about it. It's not just a few
instant.
a few little prompts and an instant overall brand and overall like selection of graphics. But I do think as a designer, you know, learning to come to terms with it, and then obviously trying to maybe challenge it, like how can we, you know, keep pushing ourselves, keep staying relevant and, you know, super skilled up.
I think it does make you want to progress. And I think as well it's like I see it AI as like a tool that we can then use to enhance our ideas, not for them to to actually make the designs itself, whatever you'd call it. But you can use it as quite a good tool for ideas. You can't say you haven't used it. Like I've totally used it, not for specific design, but for the ideas and generating different, I don't know, topics or whatever. But yeah, it's not going to take our jobs, because at the end of the day as well, we need to be the ones to like prompt it, and it is very hard.
Yeah, it can't exist without us.
No,
Simple
exactly. It has to be run by humans in order for it to, do anything in the first place. But yeah, it was a bit worrying. But now
I feel like it used to feel like the enemy, but then, like you say, finding out ways that you can also utilise it. Like, for example, the other day, super simple, really. I was like curating like a colour palette for a brand, and I feel like sometimes colour palettes can look really nice next to each other, but when you actually put them into like a brand identity, you're like, this isn't working. But I loved the colours, and I just literally got the colour palette and I put it into ChatGPT, and I was like, just make this more harmonious, please just let this collaborate a bit nicer. And you know what, it changed the tone ever so slightly, and the colour palette worked perfectly.
That's interesting.
And I thought, do you know what, that is so good, like utilise it like in ways.
Advantage.
That is, because the thing is, you could have been sat there for a good few days
just going up and down the colour scale.
Because I think when you know in yourself that like, no, this colour palette is what I want to go with. But like you say, as soon as you, for instance, put the contrasting coloured text on the background and you're looking at it and you're like, oh no, I can't actually read that, it doesn't make sense. But like you say, by tweaking it, it then works.
Yeah.
You've saved yourself tons of time by utilising the powers of AI.
Yeah.
So that's a really good example of it being used really in design. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
It's not going to conquer the world.
No, we're still here.
We're still here and we're still relevant. But yeah,
I feel about AI like the same way that I feel about Canva. Is like, I feel like the people that want to invest, people that value creativity, people that value something real and something personal to their business, they'll invest in a graphic designer.
100%.
If they don't, there wasn't ever probably going to anyways. They would probably just go to Canva and do it themselves. So we're not fighting anything really, because we are still valued in what we do.
Yeah.
100% good point. I think some people because they can use Canva and it is very easy to use,
Yeah.
they do sort of think they're a graphic designer. And it's like you can come up with something brilliant, I'm sure, if you are maybe not in the industry, but you are a natural creative. But yeah, you don't get the same thing as hiring a graphic designer.
yeah.
Realistically,
It has its
you don't.
limitations. Like, I started on Canva because, like you say, it's easy. And as a creative, and this was before I started learning Illustrator, I was just messing about. But like, you get to a point where you're actually like, right, this isn't good enough anymore. And then that is where a graphic designer does come in. So
I think as well, like this, the capabilities when you compare. I'm very passionate about Canva and the and Illustrator. Like, I think when you realise that there's a limited capability of Canva and that to be a graphic designer you do need to realistically know the Adobe suite.
yeah,
To be able to come up with your ideas and actually create something brilliant and unique, you do need Illustrator.
yeah. And a
the
Canva
Adobe suite.
template is not the one.
And as well, you see a lot of like crossovers with it, where you sort of you see people maybe rebrand, and if it is used with the help of Canva, it can look very samey.
Yeah.
As it's a risky sort of move, but yeah, love-hate relationship.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, but I don't use it.
Yeah. I appreciate it for allowing a client to keep their brand identity up their self after
Yes.
they've already invested in the brand from a graphic designer.
Great
I think
point.
it's perfect for that, but for actually creating a brand, no.
No,
Yeah.
from the start, you need to be ideally, using a designer and using Illustrator and the capabilities there. But yeah, good point, because I think sometimes you can, from experience, you can create this lovely brand for someone, send it away to them, and then, they can sort of not ruin it,
Butcher it.
maybe ruin it, butcher it. Yeah, they can totally do that, and you sort of think, oh, damn, like. I get that it is hard, but I've sort of put it in place here for what you need to do for it to look good. But, you win some, you lose some. Some clients are great. Some others maybe struggle a little bit more with that. But yeah. Great. Okay. Well, I've run out of questions. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Oh, no.
No, nothing.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
I think we're 10 minutes. Okay. Shall we do the quick fire questions?
I'm ready.
Yes.
To round it off, okay, we'll do Esme and then Fallon first. You ready?
Okay. Yeah.
Serif or sans serif?
Serif.
Serif.
Ooh.
Wait, I've changed my mind, sans serif.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I think for what I don't know, I don't use serif very often now that I think
You
about it,
use
and I don't know
sans-serif
why I said it.
You maybe use it, but you don't prefer it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you prefer it more. Okay.
I don't know.
I think I'm more serif. I prefer serif. It's classic. Okay, next. Minimal or maximal?
Minimal.
Maximal.
Always.
Always.
Yeah.
Why did I say minimal?
You're not a minimal person.
Oh.
Which surprises me. Maybe,
Can I take it back?
Oh, you can do if you
That
want.
was a panic.
Yeah, mine was a panic with the serif.
I
too.
mean, it is a quick fire question round.
Maximal.
Okay. We'll cut that bit out. Maximal. I was going to say, like, your style is more maximal.
Yeah, maximal. I don't know what happened there.
In illustration, maybe not in graphic design, maybe?
Yeah.
Bit both. I don't
Maximal.
know. It's hard, isn't it? I think it's nice, in terms of branding, for instance, keeping it minimal and then expanding on the
Yes,
idea further.
absolutely.
That's a bit better. Okay, next. Brand guidelines, strict or flexible?
Strict.
Strict.
100% agree. That's where the butchering happens
Yeah.
afterwards.
Absolutely.
Tweaking.
Okay. Logo first or colour palette first?
Colour palette.
A colour palette. I just love
Nice.
colour too much.
I'm logo first.
Really?
Yeah, that's how I start.
I don't feel like I could ever do that, actually. I don't know. I might try for my next brand. Just
I
see
don't
how it
know.
goes.
It's quite hard sometimes. I think, I often sort of start with my first logo visual concept first and then expand on that with... I usually have an idea in my head of what palette I'd like to go with ideally, but
Yeah.
I think I like to start off with. I think sometimes different colour palettes don't always complement the logo.
That's true.
I do. So I feel like I always start with colour palette, but then once I've created, if the colour palette's not working, then I will just go in and tweak it. So I have like a rough idea of what I want. So do you create in black and white first?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm going to try that next time.
Maybe I'm questioning myself now.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know.
But maybe it's a good idea.
I tell you what, you tried the logo first, I'll try the palette first.
Because like I do change the colour palette, so maybe if I just start with the design and then put in the colour, it actually might be easier.
Maybe
and I
so.
might not need ChatGPT anymore.
Maybe not. Yeah. That's funny. Okay, next question. Safe choice or bold risk?
Bold risk.
Bold risk.
Yeah, always.
And I think
you've
it
got to
mostly
try.
pays off as well.
Yeah, it keeps it fun.
Yeah.
100%. I think if you send over a sort of too minimal of a concept to a client, I think they're naturally just automatically disappointed.
Yeah. I'd rather have too much and take it away if needed.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like I think that's the wiser option, because you're giving what you think is the best option.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Trends or timeless?
Timeless.
Timeless.
Yeah, me too. Agree. Okay, one strong font or font pairing?
I do love a font pairing.
Me too.
Font pairing, 100%.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement there.
One font
It's
can't
nice.
do everything.
No,
Simple
it
as.
can't, and especially when you're expanding a brand, it's asking too much of the font.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fab. Last one. Client-led or designer-led?
Designer.
Designer.
Yeah. Designer-led.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A client has to trust their designer. They have to. And like, input is always welcome. Their
course,
ideas are always welcome, but you don't want the client to be driving the design.
No, absolutely not.
It makes so many more issues than what it's worth, and it takes so much longer. And
Yeah.
you know, obviously you want to be in the same level as your client, but they have to trust you. It's completely about trust, and it makes the process.
And that's why they
so much
pay
better.
a graphic designer.
Exactly.
It's because we've got the skills, we've got the expertise, we've got the vision that they
Yeah.
might not have.
And the experience, because
Yeah.
you know, it's not the first time we're going about designing a brand, for instance, whereas, you know, with some businesses it might be their first time sort of having the concept, you know, having to create a brand, and they don't always know what they're doing.
No,
you know?
but like you say, I do enjoy like the input. So like if they definitely don't like a specific type of font fan, I won't use it. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
But like you say, I definitely think our vision is more than likely the correct one.
I agree.
Agree.
Yeah, I agree. Final agree. But yeah, that's the end of it. Thanks, guys. That was really
Thank you.
great conversation about graphic design.
Wasn't
So, yeah.
scary, was it?
No, it wasn't too terrifying. But yeah, thanks for doing this for me.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Very welcome. Thanks, guys.
Thank
And-
you. Scene.